What's up guys, David here and welcome to the FitPro Daily. This week is all about how to generate revenue and different services and products within your fitness business to help really boost what you have to offer within your company. And this week we're inviting Alex Nestoratos on as this week's guest interview to share an insight into how to create a supplement side to your fitness business. But before I do dive into today's guest interview, if you haven't already joined us inside our free Facebook group, head over to Facebook, search for FitPro Lead Gen with Dave, press request to join, and I'll see you on the inside. But until then, let's dive into this week's guest interview. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to this week's guest interview. Today's a little bit of a different one. Usually we talk about leads, sales, and a few other bits. But today I brought Alex in for a completely different reason. Alex is going to come in and share his knowledge and his experience in building the e-commerce side of your fitness business. So, Alex, welcome. Where are you currently based? Anywhere nice?
I'm in Greece, mate.
In Greece.
Yeah,
There's another lockdown on the cards as well, isn't there?
we have some. We are a bit more free right now, not fully locked down. So
Yeah.
but we are still under COVID. That whole chaos around.
Okay, so before we dive into the topic, which is setting up and creating like your e-commerce business, how did you get initially started in the fitness industry?
All right. So in fitness industry in general, you ask, right? So,
Yeah, just in general.
Well, that goes back like 7 years or so, and you know, from some side gigs I started doing when I started, I jumped into the whole online universe. So I started from funnels and websites and all that. So by accident, from a random gig, I fell upon Justin Devonshire. So he asked for someone for some help, but at that time, so I did something with him, and from that point onwards, you know, because uh, I I was really deep into his group and all that, so I was instantly surrounded by fitness guys, fitness pros and all that. So it was all an accident, to be honest. I just it was just in a day or something, and I was into the fitness niche.
Yeah.
And of course, 7 years or so ago, I didn't have experience in the fitness and all that. I just did my job, right? Building funnels, offers, even managing some tech stuff and all that. So step by step, I got stuck into that. Of course, now I work in other niches too, and other industries, but most of my clients or work is still around the fitness niche. Does that answer your question about my?
Yeah, no, that's good. So were you into technology and stuff before you came into the fitness industry? Was your background 7 years ago all about technology and stuff as well?
Mostly yes, mostly yes. A bit of design. So many years ago, I just did whatever I could, because I just started with a PC, my desktop, and I just wanted to make money online.
Yeah. Okay, so fast forward to where we are now, present day. Tell us a little bit about your e-commerce business so people know that what you're talking about, what you're going to share with us is the actual truth and you've got like proof behind you.
All right. So a few years back, I started, with a bit of e-com, right? And I was so hyped up with it. I was excited. I loved the whole thing, how it works with the store, packaging, selling your stuff, getting your views back, all that. So the whole thing includes a story of mine as well, because I partnered up like 1 year ago with another guy, and we started our own e-com business brand as well, right? So uh, before we start our own thing, I was already working with e-com stores, right? Helping them scale, you know, uh, consulting them about the brand itself, the products, customer experience, all that. So I believe, at least in my own, perspective, that I have a very good standing around the whole thing, like what is important, what can work, because I have worked in the back end as well, and not many experts that advise on ecom have done that. I'm not just theory. I have seen what works and what can be implemented uh, from someone starting now. Uh, and I might sound a bit arrogant, but I'm not sure about the English word. But if you take the time and note down what you're gonna hear in this, uh, you will get massive value. And I challenge you to prove me wrong after we're done. If you have found something that's more helpful than what we're gonna share in this live stream, and come give me a virtual punch in the mouth if I am wrong.
Alex, there's no pressure, because once this call is done, I'll be doing my research to launch my own new supplement company for DK9 Fitness. So
That's proof
whatever
of
you
cake.
say, I'm going to write it all down and then start getting it going. Okay,
Right.
so let's get started. I own a fitness studio. Most people watching this or listening will have their own fitness business setup of some sorts. And we want to start adding a separate source of income into our business. Do we just go straight for protein sources, or do we have a look at clothing, or how do we actually come up with a product that we know will work for our fitness business?
All right. So you, I have a really easy answer out of my mind right now. You don't know what will work, what kind of product will work or is good for you, right? All right. So let me get this out of the way, and uh, because I didn't know that this question is gonna come so soon. So uh, there is my advice. There is a balance that you have to keep if you do this as a side thing, as a side add-on to your current fitness business. All right, and you will hear a lot out there that doing uh, doing it as a side job is not gonna work, or it will take you out of your main business focus, and everything will become ruined, messy, and all that, right? And let me tell you this: the key to this is to keep a balance. All right, you have to be aware of that balance and what it will take out from your time, money, energy, because you have the main business. In my mind, having your main fitness business is a good thing, right? And that is, that comes against of many others' advices. So for me, it's a good thing because you eliminate the number one fear factor, which is the risk, the fear of the risk. So when someone does not have a main business, the risk, the fear of the risk, if that makes sense, is huge, right? That you don't have something to come back to.
Yeah.
You play it all in, and you have nothing. If you make it and it doesn't work, you're out, and that all puts stress. But having a main business is actually beneficial in your case, for the fitness guys or all of you, and whatever the main business is, right? In your case, it's the jeans and all that. So having that actually helps you push stronger into what you are going to build next, right? So the key to that is the balance that you're gonna keep, and you have to be aware that you will lose a bit of energy, your time, and it's not everything is automated, and not everything is just cash. You push a product out there and you generate extra money. So you will have to keep a balance between main business and this. Um, and here's the thing. Now, with your questions along this session, I will be dropping a bit some bits of my own story. So in this case, it was with Johnny, my partner, with our brand. And in the end, 1 year after, he decided that the e-com business is taking too much of his energy, and he blamed the e-com side that he was not winning and scaling his fitness coaching business. And that started bringing in more issues, and that's how he just stopped the e-com and went back to his coaching, right? But the thing here is that it was not the e-com fault, it was his, because he was not aware of what's going to happen, right? He thought that everything is going to be easy, adding an extra channel, an extra business, and that weight, he was not ready for that weight, and he was out of control of what's happening, and he had to refocus. So does it make sense so far?
Yeah,
my accent weird?
No, it's good that you're saying, like, if you were just going to do the e-com side of things and you had no other backup, if that failed, you'd be really panicking. But having your own fitness business as your main income source, this can be something you can dedicate hours to and not feel under pressure if it does go wrong.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing, as many others would say, like not doing two things at once or things like that. So so your question, if you want to break it up a little bit, because I think it was a bit general. So I started why it can be a good thing for you all.
So how would we know what a good product is for our fitness business?
Yep. So you don't. So what you do is to decide yourself what would fit well with your vision, and what would you enjoy selling or even using yourself. Because if you don't really like what you're gonna do, like, you have heard that before, of course, if you don't like the product that you have, with the very first roadblock, you're gonna panic, stop, and even blame that it didn't work, while it had potential. So everything can work in my mind. It really depends on your business model, what you want to do, and what you can enjoy selling, or even your customer base. What would be easier to source from your location? If you have a gym, for example, right? What would be easier for you to source to your customer base?
Cool.
From my mind, the trend goes to supplements and not clothing, right? Because it's a bit harder to go into clothing, accessories, and equipment, and you will understand why a bit later in our call, because it depends on the suppliers, production line, costs, and all that. And for many reasons that we're gonna describe later on, I think it's really better to go for something that is supplementary, digestive in the food in general, instead of equipment and accessories.
So if we decide, then we're going to go with supplements as being the main option, because we can't sell gym equipment to clients. It's harder to get enough clothing to clients to want to buy. So we're going to go with supplements. Yeah. Do we go with a massive wealth of different options like BCAAs and amino acids and creatine and weight loss and muscle gain and meal replacements, or do we just kind of pick one thing initially and then add in slowly?
You kind of make it so easy for me, because before the call I started putting some notes together, and I didn't know where to grab them from. And you just hit them on the nail right now. It's like you actually seeing my notes or something.
It's literally on this piece of paper. You know what the questions are. It's just step by step by step to launching it.
Yeah, so it's a really good question, right? And why? Because somewhere in the lines, there is actually the number one reason brands fail, digital brands fail. So you're gonna note down in this because it actually answers so many things and it's really useful. At least for me, it was, you know. So to answer it short in few words, one thing, one item, one product. But there is always a but, right? And there is no 100%, correct way to go. So it depends on your budget. If you have too much of a budget, you can unleash a lineup of products, all right?
Yeah.
The whole thing. But because in most people's cases, the budget is not huge, I advise going for one thing and, actually making it great, right? Most people out there jump into e-com and land their first product too fast, without research, without tasting samples first, just doing for the sake of money. So they just land something that is in best case too similar with something else, average in quality and all that. You don't want average in this space, mate. No matter what other people tell you that you can't be perfect, but it's not about perfection right now. It's about the quality of your product and being different. And I have too many things to share, damn it. So if I make it too complicated on your questions, just let me know and we'll clarify.
No, that's good.
So one product, if you can work around it and make it really great and unique. Unique depends on things like your angle of audience, what audience you're going to target, you will market it. And, to answer again in your question, when we started our own brand, it was a baby crave and it was a cookie butter. What the heck is a cookie butter? It was in powder form, all right? It was powder form, and you could mix it with a bit of water, and it would become like a spread, a protein spread. So, excuse me. So that thing was doable, and it was a bit more unique, and could stand on itself as one product, right? So, it depends on what you're gonna do. You really have to dig into it, and if you want to follow that path of one product, you have to be able to actually use it as one thing at first. Why I say at first? Because I might be jumping into the second question of yours. I'm not sure which one, what would be, but it's the being one product is really temporary and must be temporary. And here is where most people fail, is because they think their whole business is one product, and the whole brand along the years is still that one product. And if you go that way, you will fail, right? You're guaranteed to fail because you will not be able to scale enough. People will want to test more products from you. All right. So what do you do? What's the solution? First, you think of that product, right? One product, and you actually do that one product. But in your back end, in the brains, in your mind, you will have to build a business and not a product. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of that, right? Say, I'm gonna jump out of the fitness niche just for a bit, just for this example. So I'm a nobody and I want to start a business, an e-com business, all right? And I am starting with wooden cutting board, the things that we have in our kitchen.
Yeah.
All right. So what I do, I have a limited budget. I don't have a lot of things, experienced all of that. So what I do, I work to make perfect wooden cutting board, right? I throw in my research. I'm trying to think why it would be different and unique and more useful than other wooden cutting boards. So I create that wooden cutting board and I launch it, all right? I start selling and all good. So what do I do next? And here is the most important turning point for your future. So what do you do? Do I create more types of wooden cutting boards, more colors or sizes? Or do I create a lineup of products, wooden products for the kitchen, like spoons, like things that would be useful around the wooden cutting board? So does it make sense where I'm getting with it?
Yeah.
So you have to think of your business as a lineup of products with a similar goal.
So they all match and work with each other, or they supplement
Yes.
each other. Yeah.
They have to achieve a common goal. For example, you create a lineup of supplements and here is the space that you have to fill in, for high performance people that want something specific, and all of those supplements are working towards that common goal. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that will really help answer. I mean, like, it's gonna prove really important for you. You either trust me or not right now, but you will see that that is really super, super important. When we started Obey the Crave, our next point, we had the first cookie butter. It was a biscuits flavor, right? Now, most people with the first sales would just try to add more flavors, right? More flavors of the cookie butter. But in our mind, our goal was to create a business with sweet protein things, right? So our next products would not be another flavor. It would be something like, protein balls and all that. Something sweet, something for the people that had night cravings and wanted to eat something with much protein and also fulfill their sweet cravings. I think that makes it clearer, right?
It makes sense. Yeah. Like you say, you've got a product, everything that kind of fits and works within each other rather than having just a list of different colors or something. So
Yes.
we've decided it's for DK9 Fitness and over 30s gyms, so we're going to have some sort of weight loss, muscle toning, post-workout protein powder is what we're going to go with. We're then thinking further down the line, we can get sleep recovery tablets or something that they can have before bed to sleep better, some sort of vitamin tablets they can have when they wake up. So they all work together.
Does the weight loss match with the sleep?
It can be the recovery side of things. I'm just trying to think of things that would work together, because the question is, where do I now go and find this stuff?
Easy.
Do I look at just here in the UK, or do I go further afield, or how do I find somebody that can create this stuff for me?
All right, makes perfect sense, and I have a really good answer as well. No wonder. So before I go, I'm gonna say this because many people might, confuse it and might get me wrong. What we're describing right now speaks to how to say this, to a good path based on some specific situations, right? Budget, think many things, many factors, right? Because someone might come with a million and says, Alex, what are you saying? I'm gonna start with too many products at first because one will not do the job and all that, right? I'm not saying no, nothing is wrong. Everything will kind of work. And as Gary Vee says, it's not a no or word, it's an and word. That can work too, that can work too. So I'm describing a way that has worked with me and clients, and so just a parenthesis in case you you believe that my advice is not good. So where do you go to get what you ask for? All right. So when it comes to supplements and food, I am saying go, if you are in UK, right?
Yeah.
Go and try to find a really good, reliable UK based supplier. All right. When it comes to equipment and accessories and all that, you might have a good option to go and search in Alibaba, AliExpress, and find the China manufacturer because they are a bit easier to source, cheaper when it comes to heavy stuff. But for supplements and stuff, you already guys have very good manufacturers in UK. All right, and how do you do that? So the best way, and really, it's a really simple tweak that if you do it, you're gonna get massive difference in possible suppliers. So first, you will see now that all pieces come together. You have to be really specific and clear what product you want and what business you want, because what you will do is go into Google, nothing else. There is no specific website directory that you can search for that is better than the next. So Google is your way there. So what you do is go and type the product that you want. For example, protein bars, private label, and UK. Does it make sense?
Yep.
So in the Google search bar, you're better off if you write what you want, protein bars, what you're searching for, private label, and where the location, UK. All right, and the search results will give you the most ideal, the best manufacturers for protein bars with priority, right? Because the most specific the manufacturer is to the exact product you want, the better the quality of the product will be.
Yeah.
Right? It won't be the same if you just go to someone that produces all types of food or proteins. So if you're going for a brand business that's based on bars, flapjacks, or whatever those called, it might be a better thing to write, the exact term and find a manufacturer that specializes in that. And you will see massive difference. Now, UK, because it will be far easier for you to communicate. You will have faster shippings and no import fees and all of that. But now UK is affected because of the Brexit and all of that. And businesses closed because they could not source their products fast enough from China or wherever. So it's always better to have someone located in your country if you can, all right? And that's my answer. What did I want to say there? No, that's it. I think that's it. That's
so.
How do you choose the best one, right?
Yeah.
I think that might help you. So what do you do is to send an email to the best ones that you see that fit your criteria, right? So there might be 5 or 6 of the search results, not everyone, right? Of course, you will check the website, you will have a preference, right? You will think that, oh, these guys look better. So just filter them and send them, start contacting them. Now, because they will be in UK, my advice would be to call them. Because call is the most directed, straight, the most direct way, and that should be better than email because you want the fast response. Now, my number one tip for choosing your supplier, number one factor that I care about is communication. That's it. Others will search for prices, budget, quality, and all that. Yes, those are important, but communication when it comes to supplier is of massive importance, mate. Communication will always be there for you, so you need that to be a sec.
So thinking ahead, like you say, when you launched Obey the Crave, you had the cookie dough, well, that was your main thing, and then you're thinking of these other things that will supplement it. Now we're thinking the weight loss protein powder as the first thing, and then we're going to introduce, I don't know, vitamin tablets further down the line. But the person we're speaking to supply the protein doesn't do tablets. Do we need to go to one person that does everything we want, or do we find one and then find different suppliers for the better things that we want?
If you have thought of it ahead, and you will know that you're gonna need different types of products, then the answer is there for you. You will choose someone that does these things too. So it's better to have it, to choose someone that does other types. And most of I think 9 out of 10 that I have seen produce different things too. They might specialize in one thing, but they will probably be able to produce in other formats too. If they don't and they produce just a bar and not protein powder, just go with an extra that will do that too. If you have thought of it ahead of time, as you said, right, that you're gonna need it. Because if you start jumping from supplier to supplier, it's gonna be complex for you. Maybe not a bad thing, but complexity will be there for you for sure. Different workflow and all that.
That makes sense. Okay. So then the next question is, I found a supplier. They're based up in Newcastle, which is a couple of hours drive away, like 5 or 6 hours drive away. Am I looking for them to be able to do drop shipping? For those that don't understand, they buy from us and this company sends them out. Or do we want this company to send them to us and we will send them out for orders?
I'm not sure if I heard it correctly. You said drop shipping, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. No drop shipping.
No drop shipping.
Except if they are able to customize your packaging and act like it's exactly you that does it. But
otherwise, have everything shipped to you and then you.
Other than that, I always vote for direct to customer.
Is that what's in all your cupboards behind you then, all the orders?
No, I'm not doing it anymore.
Cool. So we've got the sourcing sorted, no to drop shipping. So let's move into the next stage then. So we know what we want to go with. So let's start with the actual branding of it itself. How do we come up with the logo, the colors, the text, the design, the labels, the packaging? Do we just go with what we have in our head?
You have to be creative. If you can't, you have to hire or pay someone, a creative person, to do them for you. Now, there are two aspects of it, right? You might be the creative mind, you have the idea, but you actually cannot design it, right? You're not a designer. So it's one of the costs you will have to hire someone. I hired the label designer. He's perfect guy. I could recommend it to whoever asks, and I can really give him the contact itself. He's not exclusive to me. So you have to pay someone, yeah. For me, in our case, we already have a theme in our mind. It might not be the exact shape or the exact color, but at least you have to have an idea, a theme of how it will look or speak to your audience. Now, most of the designers, for example, mine, started asking me questions. So he knew, she had the vibe, the theme, and everything came together. That's how it goes.
So we're speaking to the company. They're gonna send us the product. Like your Obey the Crave, that is a package. Are they going to create the package, or do we send them the package? Whereas if it's a protein tub, we can just print the labels off and wrap the labels around ourselves.
Okay, so with my supplier, here is how it worked. I could pay them. They had a design department, right?
Okay, yeah.
They could take care of the labels, the artwork, and everything, but they charge too much because they are in the same house and they take advantage of that. All right, there is monopoly. They say that most people will not search for an outside designer. So I said no. Just give me the dimensions of the pack. They give you something that's called a cutter guide. I can type it here, I think. Yeah. So the good manufacturer, I typed it in the chat. The good manufacturer will give you what is called cutter guide of the package. Either it is a pouch, for example, for our protein powder, it was a pouch, and whatever the pack is, a tube or anything, they will give you what is called cutter guide. It is the dimensions of the label itself, right? So I give that to my designer. My designer designs the artwork, and I give it back to the manufacturer. All right, I give the artwork, the PDF file. Let's say it's a PDF file. I give the PDF file back to the manufacturer, and they will print it itself in the product. All right.
Okay, cool. So branding, name, wrapper, all the stuff either in your head or outsource it. So let's move on. I don't know which one to come first. Quantity of first order or price? Which one would you say focus on first?
Quantity or price?
Yeah. How many should I order initially? And how much should I charge initially?
Easy. Your first inventory will be the minimum order quantity. Every manufacturer has a MOQ, and that MOQ is quite big for someone starting out anyways. So the budget for that is gonna be fairly big for someone starting out anyways, right? And most books that you're gonna read, and the book I read as well before I begin, was talking about $100 or $500, and you can start an e-com business. That is 100% false, and I'm gonna challenge whoever says otherwise. Now, for this type of business, that's right, not dropshipping. So, go with the MOQ, and the pricing point is based on the margins that you will decide to have. If your a fair margin rate, profit margin is around 60%, is fairly good, right?
So if we're buying each container for, let's keep it simple, £10, we add 60% onto that price, and that will be roughly what we want to sell it for.
If it costs you price per unit, your margin profit is gonna be based on the price per unit. The final cost you separate. You do it based on the units, and you find the price per unit, right? So if the total price per unit per pouch, let's say that you ship pouches,
Yeah.
if it costs you around $10, 10 pounds, you will want to sell it for around 20, 26. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So it also depends on the other brands, and move to something average around that. Of course, you should not care about your competition. I'm not saying go lower than your competition, right? You can go higher. It's you, it's your own brand, and you dictate your prices. You can go whatever you want, as high as you want. If you can justify it, it's you. And if you are just a noob, just do a bit of research with your competition, just to see the other prices and move around those. That's it. There is no rule to go lower just to sell, right?
That's okay. So we've decided on the idea, we've started branding, we've got the supplier, we know what prices we're going to go with. Do we start pre-selling before we have the first order ordered, or do we do the first order and then start pre-selling?
No. The time between making your first order, your minimum MOQ from your manufacturer, between the time that you're gonna actually have it in your hands, is gonna be weeks. So in those weeks, you have to build your audience and do freelance. Now that's the best period to actually start promoting your things, because you will already have the artwork, right? You can use mock-ups to showcase what you will have, your branding. You will already have the digital assets, right? So do some pre-marketing before you actually have the product in your hands, because it will make your life so much easier when you actually launch it, and you will see the first sales coming in instantly, and that will give you huge motivation to keep going, and it will, trust me, the excitement of even chatting before the actual orders is huge. So it's
Definitely starts pre-selling a couple of weeks before it arrives then.
yes. Even if you don't take money, even if you just build a list of freelance people, that a waiting list, just build a waiting list and just boom. And when you get your product and you ship it instantly, even if it's just 5 orders, you will feel that you will understand that you actually have something that works. That's
Nice.
super important to motivate you, and it helped me. So
Cool. So let's have a look about the actual selling of it then. We might have it in stock now, or we know it's coming. How do we go about selling? Do we run straight to ads, or we just use our client base initially, or do we try and build some sort of networks?
all right.
How do we sell this stuff?
Okay. So most common answer, ads will make it is the easiest option to go for sales. Huge but here, huge but. I vote for the opposite, because in most cases, let's be realistic, right? In most cases, that most people that are doing something like that don't have an infinite amount of budget, right? Let's be realistic. So it's far more preferred to use that budget to other things than ads at first, because it might be easier to use ads but it can go more expensive. So what I do, because you will already be building a waiting list, and you should start reaching out to people that can actually help you, like might sound stupid, influencers, and all those pieces that are relevant to organic traffic.
Yeah.
So my vote goes first organic, ads to scale, right?
Just so you know, you can actually sell and get rid of the stuff. Otherwise, you're stuck and you've wasted all that money as well.
Yes, and for other reasons too. It might be more time consuming. It might not be so automated like with ads, but for many other factors, I prefer it because you're a brand that nobody knows. People will want to have to build some extra trust with you, and that
Yeah.
trust is not gonna come from Facebook ads. It's gonna come from people that recommend your product, spread the word, and all of that. That is far more sustainable and future proof.
So one quick question on the selling aspect: Shopify, or is there any other
Shopify.
platforms, or how do you sell?
Shopify.
It's the only way.
Not the only way, the easiest way, and no other reason to go to something else, except if you are a WooCommerce expert and you love WooCommerce, go with WooCommerce. But if not, because that's the case, Shopify, 100% Shopify.
Nice. Okay, so we're making sales, money's coming in, people are happy. What's post sale like? Do we follow up with emails? Do we put a little gift card in the pack to say thanks for ordering? What are post sale tactics to make sure they keep coming back?
Post sale is what's gonna keep you alive. Post sale is what most brands not doing, and they fail or vanish or just swapped with some other brand along the way from people. Post sale is everything. What I describe as a customer experience, right? Post sale customer experience. So you have to care for your packaging, your customer support. What you said about gift cards, those are called inserts, box inserts. All right. So it can be, even if it's not a gift card, it does not matter what it is. It can be just a thank you card with your logo, with your brand, just a thank you, nice organic message.
Yeah.
And people will appreciate that. Even if you don't give them a discount, people will care, even if it's just a postcard or a thank you card or whatever it is, or maybe a sample of a product. A client of mine ships a small pack of protein powder as a sample, as a gift. That's really good. So everything, all of those branded, all right? Because people might do an unboxing video on Instagram, and if the boxes are not branded, people that are seeing that video will not understand. So everything has to be, you, and give them, in few words, give your clients a reason to share. All right, that's a phrase of mine. Give them a reason to share. Every single customer is important. More than 70% of your sales are based on returning customers. All right, you cannot. The reason to fail is to always keep hunting for new customers with ads. That's what most people do in fact. More than 70% is based on retention, customer retention, returning customers, right? that's what will help you scale. It's a stacking effect, you know. People will come back, will keep coming back, and if those people that come back are getting stacked, it will be a domino effect, you know. And you cannot do the same with ads, with just ads. With ads help, right? I'm not against ads. Ads are good, but it's not what will create that boom. Okay?
Yeah,
Because
makes sense.
if that was the case, everyone would just hire the best ad manager and just pay for ads, and everyone would succeed, you know.
No, that makes total sense. Okay. Anything else that you think I've missed to find, to source, to create, to sell, to post selling? Is there anything you think I've missed?
I think we have covered all of let's call tactics, strategies, or steps, or actual steps that can be done. One thing that I can add is my top essential. Is that the word? Essential.
Yeah.
My top essential apps that you have to add in your shop is a review app for reviews. That app will automate emails. You don't have to do anything. We'll start sending emails to customers asking for a review, right? And most of the time, it's going to be a photo review. And all those reviews that will be coming on your site are actually helping everything from trust, even search engines, right? So that's a fucking awesome app to have. And to name an exact one, it's Lux. Lux is my top one favorite app for Shopify. Lux, 2 O's, Loox. Second app is an InstaFeed app. It's the app that pops up your Instapics onto your shop, embedded near the bottom most of the time of the site, and that really helps as well. All right. And the third app is, of course, an app for email marketing. Email campaigns, follow-ups, abandoned carts, all of that. And my favorite one lately I discovered is Klaviyo. It's a really friendly, user-friendly, and easy to use, and everyone can use it. Now, all those might boost the costs a bit up, just a bit, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
And you can start without them at the start. Just add them along the way, you know.
Nice.
Now that's one more thing, and I think that we have covered most of it, right? Now, everything else, you know, just to wrap up in a general perspective, if you have to focus on something, focus on your product, and you know, work it in your mind to create something that is really good, that has a reason to exist, not just to add a supplement line in your business, you know, not just for ad read. Create something that is gonna be there, and you can build a brand with it. All right. Whoops, you have stuck. Can you hear me? You're not moving. I can't hear you. I'm not sure if you hear me now. Do we have a disconnection problem? If you can hear me, can you write in the chat? Because I cannot hear you.
I'm back. My Wi-Fi just went for some reason.
All right. So what did I say? Not just create a lineup just for the sake of it, you know.
Yeah. Something you feel passionate about, have a story and everything like that.
That you can build a brand about, a brand on it, all right? and it's gonna work out. Um, and as I said, you might want to have a specific audience, or at least, even if it's for everyone, just speak to someone specific.
Nice. Alex, I appreciate your time today. So for anybody watching, listening, or following up whenever they do follow up on this, how could they find out a little bit more about what you do? Do you offer some sort of consultancy? Do you have a course? Is there a way people can potentially reach out?
All right. So, as you have noticed, I'm not gonna sell a course. I'm not doing courses. I'm not doing, trainings and all that. But I do one-on-one, and yes, I can consult. I can help in the operations, all of that. You can type in alexnestoratos.com. That's my site. I put it recently. I didn't even need one, to be honest, because I always work from mouth to mouth, and that's there. You can reach out to me. You might just want to reach out to me in Facebook, because I'm super responsive there. You can share to your people my Facebook if they want. Again, no pressure. I'm not selling anything, right? So that's it for me, mate. Whatever you need, if you feel like, if you see some good response from this video from your people, you want some extra stuff, just let me know.
No worries, Alex. Alex, I appreciate you coming on today. And I'm guessing people that are watching will either have questions or they'll rewatch it to write all these steps down. But again, thanks for coming on.
So that was Alex giving us an insight into how to set up and launch and just everything you needed to know about creating a supplement site to your fitness business. Probably one of those interviews where you want to watch it all again, take notes and start actioning a lot of the points that he was talking about. Like I said, this week is all about creating ideas and generate different ways to generate revenue within your fitness business. So we've got some more tips coming for you tomorrow. But until then, I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.